Hey there, this is going to be a really short lecture on the very basics of the sonnet. Hey, what's a sonnet? The sonnet is a type of lyric poem, and these words are ones that you are definitely going to want to know, sonnet and lyric. So what's a lyric? Lyric poetry is this huge category of poetry. It includes a lot of poetry. And here I have a definition, a literary definition from a literary glossary. A brief, melodic, and imaginative poem as opposed to a narrative tale, characterized by the fervent but structured expression of private thoughts and emotions by a single speaker who speaks in the first person. The term derives from the Greek for lyre, a type of musical instrument, kind of like harp or guitar. The lyric is one of the oldest, most popular, and enduring forms of literary expression in the English language. Over the centuries, it has diversified into several subcategories, including such forms as the ballad, the sonnet, and the ode. Okay, so that's a lyric poem. And is usually what we think of when we think of poetry, like structured, it has rhyme and meter, expression of private thoughts and emotions. It's about feelings and thoughts by a single speaker who speaks in the first person, like the poetic I. Okay, so that's a lyric poem. So a sonnet is a subcategory of lyric. So what's a sonnet then? Okay, here again is the literary glossary definition of a sonnet. A lyric poem that almost almost, consists of 14 lines, usually printed in a single stanza, that typically follows one of several conventional rhyme schemes. That's the definition of sonnet. So, let's talk about these conventional rhyme schemes. The way it breaks down is there are two major kinds of sonnets that we will be encountering. The first is called the Petrarchan sonnet. It has another name. It can also be called Italian. This is named after the Italian poet Petrarch. He's a medieval poet. He's very important. But so these sonnets are either named after the language in which they were originally written, Italian, or the Shakespearean one is called English, or they're also named after the poet that is most closely associated with that structure. So the Italian sonnet is associated with Petrarch, the English sonnet is associated with Shakespeare. So, looking at the Petrarchan sonnet pattern, we have the sonnet is divided into two sections, an octave of 8 lines and a sestet of 6 lines. And usually in the octave, we have the rhyme scheme ABBA, ABBA. Then we get kind of a turn in the last 6 lines. This poem is usually divides fairly equally into 2 parts. It could be question and answer, it could be problem and solution, but these 2 parts do have a relationship to each other. And the sestet is CDE, CDE. So if you just look at the right-hand side of a sonnet, you look at those last 6 lines, those last 6 lines should tell you, hey, is this a Petrarchan sonnet or is it a Shakespearean sonnet? Now, Petrarch's writing in Italian, and a lot of Italian words end with vowels. It's really easy to rhyme. You may notice, like if you were a poet writing this sonnet, you need 5 rhymes. You need A, B, C, D, and E. Hey, English is a much tougher language to find words that rhyme in. It's a lot harder than Italian. So, the Shakespearean sonnet, also the English sonnet, has more rhymes, right? We go all the way to G. We have 7 rhymes instead of 5 rhymes. And this breaks the structure of the Petrarchan sonnet down a little bit differently, right? Instead of 2 halves, we have 4 parts here. We have 3 quatrains and a rhyming couplet at the end. And usually the poetic turn in a Shakespearean sonnet comes right before the couplet. And then we could think of this, sometimes this is a turn, like a real switch in emotions or what the speaker is saying, or sometimes we can just see that final couplet as kind of encapsulating the whole idea of the sonnet. But it will have a different structure. And if you look at the punctuation of Petrarchan and Shakespearean sonnets, the Shakespearean sonnet really boils down to 4 sentences. Like each quatrain basically functions as a sentence. We often get a period at the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th line. Whereas the Petrarchan sonnet really is more like 2 parts. So, different rhyme scheme, different structure. And that has everything to do with the language in which these poets were working in. Okay, this is my works cited. Just also want to make sure that I cite that image that I used. So that's the sonnet. We'll be reading a bunch of them. I'll see you guys later.